Hi guys, this is Tina. Welcome back to my channel. So we're here for another one of our mask making sessions, and today what I thought we could do is make the Patricia Viramontes, what I would call her original book page pockets. They're, yeah, certainly, you know, the one that I kind of use the most of her book page pockets. I absolutely love them. And yeah, definitely not claiming them to be my own. They're completely inspired by Patricia. So let's you know, kind of sort out our supplies. So these are obviously made from book pages, so they're a fantastic way to use an assortment of book pages. And so what I've done is brought along obviously, you know, variety of sizes so that we can make, you know, a few different styles, well, not styles but size pockets. So if you're going to make them along with me, you will need obviously some book pages. They do not have to be different sizes, they don't have to be vintage, you know, just anything goes really. I've got my scissors, I've got my glue. I also, would you believe, finally have got my sewing machine up here. So yay! I may do like half glued and half stitched, just so that, you know, I'm incorporating obviously glued ones for those people who don't have a sewing machine, and you know, stitched ones for those people who like to do stitching. We'll see how it goes. Obviously I haven't done any videos yet with my sewing machine, so we will obviously see, you know, how that all pans out. So yeah, I will start by doing the glued ones, try and move over to the sewing machine, but obviously if that's not really working for you know, any reason, then I will come back and glue some. So just to demonstrate the pockets, as I say, I mean, there's nothing complicated. Of course, I never do anything complicated, as you know. Couldn't, even if I wanted to. So I like to double up the thickness. Now, I'm not sure that Patricia always does this, to be honest. But, you know, personally, that's just something I like to do because I'm quite a clumsy person. And if they're not very thick, I'm likely to tear them. Now, all you're doing, basically, is making a pocket like this. So, I mean, it really couldn't get any more straightforward. Now, I had a fantastic tip from somebody when I did these pockets once before, not in a mass make, but in another video. Because obviously every time that I bent, you know, folded my pocket up, I had an upside down, either top or the bottom. And somebody gave me this awesome tip that if you just put your paper like that, then basically, oops, then basically when you fold it up, you're going to have, you know, the right way up text both ways. Does that make sense? So if you put the paper, you know, the pages, if you're doubling them up, put them alternate ways, i.e. one upside down, one up the right way, then turn the page to face you up the right way. When you fold that up, it's going to be the right way. I hope that makes sense. So yeah, all I'm going to do is glue my page together. Now, oops, these are going to be my glued ones. So obviously I'm taking the glue round the edges, and then I just have a bit of glue in the centres just to, you know, glue them in the centre parts there. So oh, I'm having glue problems already. I might have to actually open another tube of glue because this glue has been very problematic ever since it was opened, which is very frustrating. And as you know, I film my videos ahead, so for ages you're going to see me fighting with that particular bottle of glue. So luckily I have another one ready and waiting. So yeah, I'm convinced that actually what happens is just odd tubes just seem to be very problematic. So fingers crossed this one's going to be better and behave better. Oh my goodness, no, not so far. Because it's been stood in my cupboard for a long time, it's now coming out like water. So let me give it a shake. Mop that wet glue up. I've never experienced that before, but then to be fair, I've never really kind of bought glue like this in bulk before. And I did this obviously at the start of lockdown, or, you know, a couple of weeks into lockdown, because I was worried I wouldn't be able to get glue. So I'm still using up my PVA type glue, still using it up now. So yeah, I don't know whether it's a normal thing for it to just turn like water if it's just stood in a cupboard for a long time, but definitely that's what's happened to mine. Right, okay, so glue issues hopefully solved now, and we can now just crack on with the video. And then all you're going to do is fold your piece up here. Again, just obviously, you know, you can use your bone folder. I'm just going to use my scissors. And then all I'm going to do is glue the sides down. So, I mean, honestly, if you don't have access to a sewing machine, these look just as nice glued. You know, there's no, you don't have to have a sewing machine. I think they're just equally as nice whether they're glued or stitched. So please don't feel, you know, if you haven't got a sewing machine that you can't do them, they're just as nice. Okay, so that's my first one. Now, obviously you can see it's quite tatty around the edges. I kind of quite like that. I'm not saying I always like it, but I think it's quite nice to have a mix of sometimes quite tatty edges, sometimes neater, sometimes round the corners, sometimes not, you know. So I'm going to, I think, try and make a variety. And obviously in these mass makes, I try and just make my basic piece so that when I come to use them, I can then customize it. So then if I wanted to trim the edges, I could, you know, things like that really. So I'll just pop that to one side. Now my glue came out a bit watery again then, so I'm just going to give it another shake. Okay, right. So again, just taking in my next pocket. Now, as you can see, this one, I've not made a very good job of tearing it out of the book. So it definitely will need a bit of tidying up, but again, just take my glue around the edge. I mean, these are so super quick. They're just fantastic. And like I say, I mean, they're a brilliant way because obviously you're, you know, using up lots of book pages here. And yeah, they just come together really quickly and really easily. So all my favourite things, using up stuff, coming together quickly and easily. Doesn't get any better than that, does it? So again, just like that. And then you want to turn it up so you've got, you know, the right side up for the text. And then when you fold it up, you're going to have then text all facing the right way, you know, on both parts of the pocket. I mean, to be honest, it doesn't really bother me if one bit is upside down, but of course, you know, by just doing that simple step, it's, you know, it's no big hardship, is it, to just do that little thing. And then of course it's much better to have the text facing the right way up. So, but I guess what I'm saying is it's not absolutely essential, you know. There we go. Okay, so I'll probably stop waffling on now about what I'm doing because of course it's not, you know, it's not anything very complicated or anything. And we can just, you know, relax and have a good time making some pockets. So I'm going to make some in different sizes now. And yeah, we'll just kind of have a variety. I mean, as you can see, again, very tatty, but that's fine because I can tidy that up. So, oops. Okie dokie. So I hope everyone's having a good day. I hope you're having a good week. I know it's only Tuesday. For me, I always film these ahead. Well, I normally film them actually on the Monday. However, today is Sunday for me because I know I said before, but my son and my husband are taking some annual leave from work. So we were going, or we were hoping to go camping in our tent. You know, obviously just in this country, but a bit further afield to where we normally go, which, you know, is just literally down the road. So we had actually kind of booked 6 nights at a campsite. However, the weather having been so incredibly hot that, you know, I was constantly obviously moaning about the heat, has now taken a turn for the worst. And so now it's not really camping weather at all. And it's just literally forecasting, you know, actually thunderstorms completely for the whole week pretty much. So of course we're not going camping now in our tent because we're just fair weather campers. We don't really want to be going there when it's thunderstorms and hideous weather for the whole week. So yeah, we've cancelled that. Now, my son is also off next week, so we're hoping we're still going to be able to maybe go camping next week in our tent if the weather cheers back up. But so for this week, we've got a few days out planned. You know, nothing particularly exciting, but there's like a lovely park that we like to go to. I think I mentioned before that we love going to a lovely park up near Hampton Court called Bushy Park. There's another lovely park called Richmond Park, which is in Surrey. It's on the outskirts of London. So it's probably about an hour and 10 minutes or something from where we are. So we're going to go there one of the days. What else did we have on our list? I can't think now what else we actually had. They're all written on my iPad, all the, you know, all the ideas that we've got for the week. Hopefully that glue's going to dry and not really show through. If that shows through, I will just cover it up with maybe some stamping and, you know, put some paper over there and things. So it's not, you know, too much of a big deal. Yeah, so we've got some days out planned. Where else have we got? I honestly can't remember, and I only made the list 2 days ago. My middle son and I, we made the list of some ideas, because otherwise, if you don't really have things planned, I don't know about you guys, but you know, the day just kind of goes by and I think, oh, I'll just quickly go and do a video, or I'll just quickly, you know, do some emails. And then before we know it, it's like 12 o'clock and we haven't really got out of the house. So we thought we're better off doing an actual, you know, firm plan of things for the days out. So what we did, we made our list and we put alternative things. So we had like dry weather plans. And then we had, oops, I had 3 pages there. Oh gosh, now I'm tearing the book page. Dry weather plans, and then we had okay-ish weather plans, if you see what I mean. So, you know, if the weather's okay. And then we also had hideous weather plans, like for if it is actually thundering and lightning and things. So today, it's only early, everyone's still kind of asleep, so it's about just gone 7. So just gone 7? No, 8. Sorry, it's about 8 o'clock. So obviously my daughter's up, my husband's up, but my 2 boys are obviously still asleep. So I thought, well, I'm going to come up and do my mass making video quickly now, because if we end up going out for one of the days out on Monday, then I won't get time to do the video. My middle son is still working a couple of days this week, so it's like every other day that we'll be having a day out. So on the days that he's working, hopefully I will still be able to, you know, do some videos and do some work myself. But yeah, I'm still trying to think what else was on that list of other days out. I really can't actually remember. Well, I mean, obviously if the weather turns out very hot and lovely, you know, we will just do the beach. So that's kind of just a given. Yeah, so we've just got things like some walks that we like to do. And some of those walks we can kind of do on rainy days, strangely. We just put our, you know, rain max on and just do the walks even in the rain. So we've got things like that on there for rainy days. Oh, I just can't think for the life of me what the other things were that we had on there. Ah, yes. I discovered just on TripAdvisor a sort of park. It's a reservoir. I can't remember now whether it was called Ardingly Reservoir, I think it was called. Anyway, it had lots of good reviews saying how beautiful it was there and what lovely days out people had. So never been there before, so that's on the list of one of the days out that we're going to do. I don't know whether you can bike around there. I shall obviously have a look, a bit more of a look, and see whether we can take our bikes or whether it's just a sort of walking and picnic type park. You know, it would be lovely if we could take our bikes and things. So yeah, that's one of the days out. Then one of the activities for rainy day was going to IKEA. I know that's just really boring, but we all quite like it. And it's always fun to look around what, you know, what solutions they have for rims and things, because they're so very clever, aren't they, with their, you know, what they can cram into a small space. So everyone quite likes it. And the kids especially like it because the cheap food that they have, you know, like on the entrance of the shop, not the entrance, the exit, sorry. So, you know, after you pay, they have like a fast food kiosky bit where they sell hot dogs and, you know, burgers and fries and ice creams, and, you know, it's a limited menu, but quite a good selection, I guess. I mean, I don't really eat things like that, but obviously they all do. And they're super cheap. I mean, they're hot dogs and things. I mean, they're something like, I don't know, 60p, or they're really, really cheap. So they all like to have, you know, hot dogs and things like that. So yeah, that's always quite a good day out when it's raining and things, because everyone likes to, you know, have a look at all the ingenious ideas for all the rims and things, and then obviously, you know, stuff their faces with some hot dogs and things like that. So yeah, that's on the list for a rainy day activity. Oops, I'm just going to switch that over because it's just got here, this is talking about early English furniture, but it's just got here about Rembrandt, and it says about improving to the day of his death, which, you know, nobody wants to read that kind of on there, do they? So yeah, we'll turn it over and have this side, which hopefully would be a bit better. Obviously, I didn't really think that this would be one of those book pages that would need, you know, checking that it had nothing unsuitable on it, but it was just, you know, nobody wants to read about that, do they, on their pockets. So there we go. Now this book page here, this is slightly more glossy. You can probably see, but it's got a slight sheen to it. It was obviously a bit of a later sort of print to this, which is obviously very, you know, very matte and very sort of porous, hence obviously the glue seeping through. I'm really hoping, as I say, that that glue is going to dry and not kind of look like that once it's dried. Hopefully it won't. You know, I think it's just obviously showing through whilst it's wet. So I mean, that one, I mean, they look really different, don't they? Just the different book pages can really look quite different. You know, I'm not sure which I prefer. I mean, obviously if this did not have all the glue seeping through it, you know, it would look a lot nicer. But yeah, I think they're both lovely, and again, I think they all have their place. So, you know, dig out sort of a whole variety of book pages, and again, you know, use book pages with images and things. I mean, I'm not very good at doing things like that because I get a little bit obsessed, as you know, with the whole matchy-matchy. So if it had, you know, lots of images and pictures, I would probably then feel like it didn't really go with many, you know, projects. But I mean, I know that lots of ladies are much better at sort of being eclectic and putting things together in this brilliant way than I am. So, you know, just mix it up and see what comes. There we go. So yeah, that's kind of another day out that we have planned. So I'm really chuffed. I'm going to be waffling on in loads of videos still to come because I feel my head saying I don't have my sewing machine up here. Just for the record, just so you know, obviously I do now. But yeah, for ages you're going to hear me keep talking about the fact I don't have my sewing machine up here. So please just ignore me when I'm saying that. They were obviously just filmed pre-sewing machine being up. So yeah, I do have it up here now. Thrilled to bits because my son, obviously, who's doing his electrician course, that was the first bit of electrical work that he's done. I think it's probably the first bit of electrical work he's done outside of work, actually. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. So obviously, you know, he's kind of been saying for ages, oh mum, you know, I could do some things for you now. I'm like, oh, well, you know, not sure. So anyway, I finally got my desk for my sewing machine, and he's, you know, there's not a plug near where the desk is, because obviously the desk is now over the other side of the loft, you know, to where I'm currently sat. But it's fine because I've bought another tripod-y thing for my phone, and so it's going to be clipped on there, and all I have to do is move my phone across, you know, back and forth between the desks. And yeah, so I said to him, oh, well, you know, perhaps you could run me a plug for the desk. And you know, I thought, oh, I pray to God that nothing happens, that he doesn't blow our electric or anything like that. Anyway, I needn't have worried. He did a fantastic job. He was a really good boy, because he even cleared it all up and sort of hoovered the mess that he had, you know, created and things. Oh, it was absolutely brilliant. He was a really good workman, and yeah, I was very, very impressed. And wow, I just couldn't believe my luck then yesterday when I just sat at my desk for the first time in its spot with my sewing machine, obviously upstairs. It was awesome. It was my highlight of the day last night at dinner. And yeah, I felt really proud and thought, oh, how exciting. My, you know, my son with this useful trade, it's going to be great. So yeah, I can't wait to to think of some more jobs for him. So we might get him to put some lights in the garden and things like that. So he'll wish that he hadn't started, you know, volunteering his services. I mean, my other son, he's also very helpful and very handy. I know I've talked before about how brilliant they are, you know, in the kitchen. They both are very good cooks. And my middle son especially, he actually really likes cooking. I mean, to be fair, actually, my older son also quite likes cooking these days. Especially since he started work, because I think they sort of talk about food a lot while he's at work. So I think that's like spurred on his love of cooking now. But yeah, they're both pretty good in the kitchen, which is brilliant. And my middle son also, I mean, he's very handy at things like flat pack furniture and, you know, those kinds of things. So they're both very handy, which is awesome. Absolutely awesome. There we go. Okie dokie. Right, let me just check what the time is and see whether it might be time to actually move across to the sewing machine. So we're at like 22:54. Oh, to be very precise there, 22:54. We've made a ton of these already. They're really great pockets. I'm very quick. So I am going to be thrilled to bits to have loads of these, because as I said, they're really kind of one of my favourite pockets. Actually, I just make a couple with this book page as well. Yeah, they're really like my favourite pocket. Well, my favourite book page pocket, definitely. They always look great. You know, wherever you put them, they always look good. And yeah, they're just brilliant. I mean, Patricia, I think, is definitely amazing at her book page ideas. She comes up with some brilliant pockets. Joey DeFee, she also comes up with fantastic book page pockets. She's, you know, very clever with her ideas. And, you know, it's always great, isn't it, to get new pocket ideas, to be honest. So, okay. Oh, horrible word on that page. Let me just, yeah. Let's change that. Oops, now. Which way do I need to go to hide that word? No, definitely not that way. This way. Oh, do you know what? I think both sides have got... Oh, that's such a shame. I'm going to have that word showing whichever way. Right, what I'm going to do is have it like this, and I will have to remember and put something over this. Yeah. So, I mean, some of these books you do have to be a bit careful, don't you? And, you know, I mean, sometimes, obviously, there's times when you don't notice, and you know, a little word will slip by unnoticed, you know. So yeah, that's an unfortunate you know, paragraph on there. Oh well, right, so I'll have to cover that up. But I mean, I do really like the coloration of that book page, to be honest. Right, okay, let's take these over, and for the first time I'm going to try out my sewing machine with my new setup. Okay, fingers crossed this is going to be okay. Now my desk is very small here, so you know, I still don't have like a ton of room, because obviously I, you know, had to kind of fit it into a space in the room. And this is a family room. It's not kind of just my craft room up here. So of course I didn't, you know, I couldn't really just hog all the space. But it's amazing to have it up here. So yeah, really, really pleased. But just so as you know, it's quite tight for space and things. So, and obviously this is the first time I'm filming here, so just fingers crossed it's going to be okay. Right, so what I'm going to do here, I haven't glued these or anything, so I'm going to run a stitch along here and, you know, trying to get it as close to the edge as I possibly can. So we'll just run that like that. And then I'm just going to take that out. Now, obviously, if I wasn't doing a video, I would just now continue kind of round. But because I'm doing a video, I'm just trying to show you what I'm doing. So I'm just going to fold that up like that. And then I'm going to run my stitch in completely around the entire pocket. So just go in here. And what I'll do, I'll start near where the join is and just do like a back stitch so that it's hopefully really, you know, holding the pocket closed. And then I'm just going around the whole pocket. Now, obviously, I am not very good with my sewing machine, and I did have a comment the other day where somebody said it was so painful to watch me stitch so slowly. So I do apologise if, you know, if my sewing is very irritating. But yeah, I mean, I'm definitely not very good with my sewing machine. I mean, if you've watched my channel for a while, as you know, I had actually even been using my sewing machine completely incorrectly for like years and years. So definitely sewing is not my strong point. But hey, you know, we've got to start somewhere, haven't we? And, you know, hopefully the more I use it, the more I will improve. So I'm just trying to get that sort of close to there. Okay. Okie dokie. So that's my first pocket done now. It's very tatty, so I'm going to obviously tidy this up. But for the minute, I'm just going to put it to one side and we can do another one. And the other thing actually, which I did forget and, well, forget to mention and forget to do, was actually I'm going to change my stitch length. So mine is a, you know, computerized machine. It's a Brother. It's on my Amazon list. I think it's the most similar that I could find on Amazon. Mine came from Argos, which is a shop we have here. So I've just tried to link the most similar machine I could find. I think mine was about £200. Yeah, I think it was about £200. I mean, as I say, I don't really know much about sewing machines, but it seemed to have like really good reviews and, you know, suggested that it was kind of simple to use, which of course is, you know, what I like. And it's, you know, I mean, I know £200 is quite expensive, but obviously I've had it for quite a long time, and, you know, I mean, I've like hemmed curtains with it and things like that. So I've had my money's worth, definitely. But yeah, I can use this little button instead of using a pedal like with my foot. So for me as well, that's really useful. I really like being able to do that. In fact, I don't think I've even one time ever used the foot. I always just use the manual thing, you know, the button where I press it with my hand. But what I was going to say, sorry, I kind of digressed there for a moment, is the stitch length, and I had forgotten to do this on the first one. I have changed that. Now again, because I'm not really great with sewing machines, I don't know whether this is standard or whether this is on this machine. I have changed my stitch length from the default for this just straight stitch is like 2.5. and I have changed it to 3.5, which you can probably see. I mean, I know it's probably difficult to pick up on camera, but you know, it's quite a bit longer than this. It's just 2 settings up on the little button. The reason I do that is because, especially with these old books, if you have very close together stitches, it can sometimes just tear the paper. Fortunately, it doesn't look like it has done on this one. But that's just something to be aware of, is when you're stitching the book pages, you might want to just change your stitch length, because, you know, I think that then it's like a precautionary thing, because, you know, it will be better, I think, with a longer stitch that's less likely then to just paper, you know, pierce your paper and then end up sort of tearing it. So yeah, that's kind of a little tip there. I mean, this book page is pretty thin, to be honest, so I might even use 3 in this one, because you know, I'd much rather my stuff is very firm and held together very rigidly than not really held together enough. So I'm just going to do 3 layers on that one. Okey-dokey. And as I say, obviously this is my first time of sewing up here, so I hope that my sewing machine isn't sort of jogging the table too much. I mean, obviously I can't really do anything about that. You know, I won't be able to do anything about that if it is, but I hope that it's watchable. Okie dokie. So I'm just literally going around the edge of the pocket. Okay. Oh, this is so exciting. I can't believe that I've got my sewing machine up here. This is like awesome. Absolutely awesome. So, I mean, hopefully now when I'm doing projects and sometimes I say, oh, you know, I'll save the sewing and I'll do that sort of downstairs later off camera. I mean, hopefully now I will be able to just pop across to this desk and do it sort of as I go, which will be really fantastic. So, I mean, obviously you know, I do always say, please don't be put off if you don't have a sewing machine. You know, I don't think it's an essential thing. I might again do 3 of this book page, because again, this is quite thin book page. So with the glued ones, I've only done 2. I feel with the glue, that stiffens the edge up and it's really keeping them together. When I'm just using the sewing machine and not gluing at all, I'm doing 3, or I'm going to do 3 pages, because I think it could do with probably just a little bit of extra thickness. So yeah, that's why I'm going to do that with the sewing machine. And again, I will try and remember to link Patricia's video of these. Now I have to say, it's difficult to say whether I'm going to be able to find her video, because she did these pockets a very long time ago. So I can't promise that I will definitely be able to find her video. Obviously I can link Patricia's channel, and you know, you would be able to go over and have a look on her channel, because she is like amazing with her book page pockets. And you know, you could go through and find a ton of other pockets, you know, which would be great fun, I'm sure, anyway. But yeah, I don't know whether I will actually be able to find these particular pockets, because she has such a lot of different pocket videos. And as I say, this was done a long time ago. So that's why I'm calling this like the original Patricia Viramontes book page pocket, because I think it's probably one of the first ones that she did. But, you know, I always think oldie but goodie. That's what this is, an oldie but goodie. And sometimes when things just work, they just work, don't they? So there's no need to sort of complicate things. If something's working, you know, then that's fantastic, isn't it? Okay. So that's another one. This probably isn't very exciting watching sewing, to be honest. It's probably more exciting watching gluing, I would think. Well, I'm not saying that that's particularly exciting either, but yeah, let me know your feedback below, because obviously if this is really boring with the sewing machine, I know not to really do the sewing machine in a mass make again. So, you know, I won't be offended or anything. but it would be handy to know. I'm going to move my sewing machine in slightly, and hopefully that's a bit of a better view for you guys. But yeah, I mean, obviously this is the first time I'm filming, so, you know, feedback is greatly appreciated, because of course, you know, I won't know without you guys telling me whether it's going to be rubbish having a mass mate like this. So there we go. And I mean, as I say, you know, this is my first time, so let me just move this up slightly, because I'm aware that, you know, when the book page goes past, I don't think you can really see it. Talking of things like that, you know, where I'm sort of apologising for things, I have to just quickly apologise for the ads problem that I had a couple of weeks ago on, I think, just one of my videos. Certainly, I only seem to have all these comments on one of my videos. But YouTube have introduced this new policy where any videos over 8 minutes long now have mid-roll ads. Now, I didn't really know how that would work. So obviously I just trusted YouTube to just put a mid-roll ad in. I don't think I had ever had mid-roll ads before. I had certainly never opted to have mid-roll ads before. So when they obviously changed their policy, I thought, well, you know, that's fine. My videos are generally pretty long. I think they can take sort of an ad in the middle. So I, as I say, just trusted in them to just put one ad in the middle of the video. Well, I was then horrified, because obviously then when I read some comments on, you know, this particular video, there were obviously a few people saying, oh my gosh, you know, too many ads. So when I then looked at the video, I was horrified to see YouTube had slotted ads in literally all over the place. So, I mean, there was, I mean, I can't remember how long the video was, but say it was like 45 minutes. There was something like 8 ads in the first 20 minutes of the video. So, of course, I was horrified to see that. And I really hope that, you know, you all know that I would never in a million years have done that. You know, I just hope that everybody knows that I would not have ever done that. I honestly thought mid-roll ads would just be like one ad in the middle of my video. So there was like an ad, I think, like within the first minute and 20 seconds of the video. There was another one at like 4 minutes. There was another one at, you know, 6.5 minutes. It was crazy and ridiculous. You know, nobody would want to watch that. And of course, why on earth would they have done that? I mean, obviously it's not YouTube directly. I assume they have some sort of algorithm and it's computerized. You know, I don't think an individual has sat there and made those decisions and done that. But seriously, the algorithm had obviously gone incredibly wrong that day. I did put a community post up, and thank you so much to all those people who obviously read it and, you know, said that they understood and, you know, what have you. I really do appreciate that, because honestly, I was so horrified and just thought, oh my gosh, you know, people are going to think that that's me, you know, trying to cash in or something by sticking billions of ads in. I mean, I would never do that. So yeah, I really do apologise. And yeah, thank you so much, guys, for sticking with me. Hopefully that whole mid-roll ads thing is sorted. I should now just be having like one, you know, one ad. Well, I don't know whether it's just one, but, you know, 1 or 2 ads in the middle, which hopefully is, you know, acceptable. And obviously when I'm watching other people's videos, they seem to have similar, you know, similar setups as well. The only thing that did come out to be good was that thankfully I noticed lots of other people with similar problems on their videos. I know that Artie Mays, I think, had a problem with one of her videos where she had tons of ads suddenly slotted in. So, you know, and I think Wendy from Journal, you know, Junk Journal Adventures, I think she had a similar thing. So touch wood, you know, it wasn't just me. And yeah, thank you so much for those people who obviously commented saying, wow, you know, hundreds of ads here. Because of course, you know, once I've edited my video and it's up, I mean, I don't obviously then re-watch my own videos. So I would never have known, you know, without people telling me, I wouldn't have actually known that that was happening. So thank you to those people who let me know, and thank you even more to those people, you know, who obviously were kind enough to say that they understood and it, you know, wasn't a problem, and they realised that it wasn't me who'd done that. So yeah, thank you very much, and I do apologise for the you know, the rubbish viewing that must have been that day. Right, okay, just checking what time we're up to. So I'm up to about 15 minutes I think here with the sewing machine, so that's probably enough for the sewing machine. And I'm going to go back to my desk now and we will decorate a pocket up. Okay, so I have moved across the room and I've got all my pockets here. So let's count up how many we've done firstly, because I think this has been a good one in terms of how many we've made, which is good because I have been really rubbish lately and hardly made any of the things that we've been making. So let's have a bit of a count up. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Wow. Honestly, I mean, a couple of weeks ago, I made something, the lovely Scrapbooking with Me booklets, which I absolutely love, but obviously they were quite fiddly. And I made 4. So it wasn't, you know, even worthy of calling a mass mate, really. So this is awesome. Right. So just to give you some more ideas, basically, I'm just going to show you. So, I mean, this one, obviously, I have threads galore, you know, from the sewing machine. So all I'm going to do is, you know, obviously tidy up some of those threads because nobody minds a few, but this is verging on ridiculous. So we've just cut off a couple of the threads. And then all I'm going to do is just tidy the pocket up a bit, like down the sides. So, I mean, obviously you can see, you know, this is using those smaller book page style, you know, looks super cute, doesn't it? You know, in that small size. And if I just show you, you know, by comparison, one of the larger ones, so perhaps this one here. So obviously this is, you know, a much darker page. Let me move these out of the way so we haven't got so many cluttered up on the desk. And just again going to tidy it up by just trimming down the edges like that, and then just down this edge here like that. Oops, get that last thread off. So I mean, they're just lovely pockets, aren't they? And you know, they literally couldn't get any easier. You know, I just absolutely love them. So we'll just decorate one up. And actually I've got this one which was glued. So again, what I'm going to do is just probably trim it down slightly here on the sort of tatty edge like that. And then do we need to, yeah, perhaps we'll just take it in slightly on this edge. And that just helps as well, you know, if my glue's not right to the edge, this is also just helping it there out, you know, helping it to stick. So, oops, oh my gosh, can you see what I've done? Horrible, horrible cutting. Okay, so hopefully that looks a little bit better. It was very wonky before. So let's decorate up this one. I love the feel of this. For some reason, it's kind of calling me because I'm loving the feel of this paper. Because it's very smooth and, I mean, it's not glossy as in sort of a modern day book, but it's got a really nice sort of sheen to it. So yeah, I was pulled in to decorate that. Right, let's just ink it up first. So please let me know below what you think, you know, with regards to the sewing machine. I mean, obviously it was probably boring in a mass make, you know, doing the sewing. I don't know. So if you could let me know, then I know for future reference. Also, what was the sound like? Because of course, you know, I'm very aware that when it's sewing, I mean, that's partly why I'm sewing quite slowly. I mean, I'm a rubbish sewer, but also sewing quite slowly because of course, now I've printed this double-sided and for some reason I've printed these two patterns, which, you know, I don't really feel go. So, yeah, I might use the blue side actually. I want to use the blue. I do like the blue. So yeah, let me know with regards to sound, because that's another reason why I'm sewing quite slowly, is because of course, you know, it's quite noisy, and of course the faster that you're sewing, the louder it is. So, you know, I mean, well, it's twofold, you know, I am pretty rubbish with sewing, but also I'm trying to keep it you know, audible for people. So yeah, that's another part of it. Now I'm just going to stamp this out because I've been stamping this with other colours, so I just want to check that it's not too black still or anything. So you can probably see it's coming out really nicely there, which I just think will match this on here. So this is that Toffee Crunch, one of those Memento ink pads. Love this colour. And obviously I love this stamp, as you all know. So there we go. I'm just going to go down that side a bit. Okay. Doesn't that look lovely? I mean, actually, I have to say, I was going to put this paper on it, but weirdly I'm now thinking, do I even want to? Because I just love it with just the, you know, that lovely stamped corners, to be honest. You know, I'm kind of thinking, oh, that might ruin it. Oh, I don't know. What a decision I have here. Perhaps that's not the right paper for that. Let's pull in something else. So obviously I have tons of scraps all over my desk. So just going to take a more delicate paper. Oh, that's better, I think. Yeah, that one's a bit better, I think, on here. So I might just have this. Well, perhaps I'll just have it there, actually. So I'm just going to tear the edge at the bottom as well. I'm not over keen on straight edges, as you know. So, yeah, have that there. Oh, that's pretty, isn't it? And then should we have a bit of doily or something there as well? Just have a look, see if I've got any. Okay, got this one. So again, I didn't want any that was too dark in the coffee staining because, you know, sometimes obviously it's darker than others. Oh, that's so pretty, isn't it? Oh, there. Love that. Okay, let's hope that my glue's not going to, you know, mark this doily too much. Okie dokie, press that down. And I'll have that there, and then I'll just trim it off here at the edge. Actually, I'm just going to ink this up first before gluing it down, because I don't want to then over ink that book page. So just ink it a bit there. I've had to turn the lamp on because when I came back to my desk over here, you know, from the sewing machine, it suddenly was a little bit dark, and I thought, oh, I think it's going to be storming in a minute, you know, as per the forecast. So yeah, I've put the lamp on, and I can hear movement downstairs now. Everyone's now up and about. Well, which is good because it's now much later, obviously. In fact, it's now, you know, getting on for breakfast time. So yeah, it's lucky that they're all getting up really. Right, and I've dug out a few things here beside me. Got some of my dictionaries. They're quite nice, aren't they, just on here? Do we like it there, or do we like it up here? I think down there. Now this is only printed on, you know, copy paper, this dictionary definition, and I probably would be better off using, you know, thicker paper, but obviously I hadn't really anticipated what I was going to be using for this, so just pop that down there. Okay. Sorry, getting glue now on my fingers. Okay. Now I've got obviously some flowers. You see, I wanted to keep it really plain, but then I hold that flower there and think, oh, that looks really pretty. You know, I don't know about you guys, but I do struggle when I'm keeping things very plain. You know, that flower, I just sort of held it there for a couple of seconds and straight away I'm like, oh yeah, that is quite nice. You know, that just dash of colour. Also got some of my little paler flowers, so let me just pull in a couple of those because perhaps you know, perhaps they would be better sort of with the keeping neutral theme. Let's just check. Or we could have both. All the same. Yeah, I quite like it with both actually. That's, you know, I didn't think I would, but actually I do quite like it with both. So I'm just going to ink this one just a tiny bit, because this hasn't really got any white showing. This one obviously has, so just glue around there. Oh, and that's very apt because that dictionary definition says flower, so that's just perfect. I mean, that was just coincidence because actually I hadn't even read what that dictionary definition said. Oh, I had the weirdest dream last night. I dreamt that we moved house, and yeah, it was really strange. Maybe I dreamt that because I was imagining going to IKEA, I'm not sure. I mean, I don't have any intention of moving house. Oh, God forbid, the terrible job of moving all my craft rubbish. It would just be absolutely horrible. I can't imagine the nightmare involved in moving house, to be honest, with all the craft things. But yeah, it was very strange because it was a very modern house and, you know, like ultra modern, which of course I have no idea how people would be able to craft in an ultra modern house, because those modern houses have like no clutter, and actually they have no room for clutter, do they? But yeah, that's what I dreamt about, and it was really, really, really strange. But you know, when it's a really vivid dream that then keeps on replaying in your mind, it's a bit like that. I mean, that's quite pretty, having some pink lace on there. Again, that wasn't kind of where I was going with that initially, but or do we think just ivory lace might be better? Yeah, perhaps ivory would be better. Have I got any? Oh my gosh, that's gorgeous, isn't it? The only thing is, I don't really have very much of that. As you can see, this is kind of cut like that. I have probably got some laying around somewhere, but I'm not sure where it is. So let me just quickly have a look behind me in my drawers. Right, I've got this crochet lace, so let's try that one. Oh, that's lovely, isn't it? Yeah. Right, I'm going to go for that. So I'm just going to put that lace running along here, along the, you know, where that pocket is. So just get my Fabri-Tac. Okay. Just run a line of that along there. Okay. And just trim that off. So yeah, I mean, this pocket's super delicate looking for me. And then what I could do, let me just put that lace away. Trying to be tidy and put things away as I go, you see. Right, what I could do is around the corners. So just grab my corner rounder. Maybe I put it back in my little bag. I have obviously been using it and now it's probably buried on something. Sorry guys. No, I can't see it off, you know, straight away. So I don't want to obviously waste everyone's time for ages looking for it. So yeah, I won't round the corners on that at this precise moment, but I might come back and round them later because I don't want you to all be just watching for ages while I'm searching. Right, I've just got a bit of bling here because, wow, why wouldn't we? Why wouldn't we? There we go. Oh, that's gorgeous, isn't it? Yeah. Might just cut that down slightly, actually, because it's quite long on there. Oops. Okay. So just pop that on there. Like that. Okay. There we go. And I tried to put that a bit curved so as it wasn't just a, you know, diagonal line there. So that's that. And do I have any pages that I could show you how it looked on a journal page? I don't think I have. No, because I haven't really got a journal on the go at the moment. No, I haven't. I thought perhaps I had a piece of paper that I could just, you know, give you a rough idea, but I don't think I have, I'm afraid. So anyway, that's that page, or that's that book page pocket. So I hope that you like them. Of course, they're nothing new, and, you know, of course, all credit goes to Patricia for them. But yeah, brilliant way to use up some book pages, lovely in your junk journals. And yeah, I hope you like these, you know, cute but very simple book page pockets for your junk journals. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you will join me again soon. Obviously, I do these mass making every Tuesday, but I do tend to upload videos every day, really. So yeah, hopefully see you in my next video. So thank you so much for watching. Have a fab day, everyone. Thanks, then. Bye.